let me introduce everybody, right?
All right.
We got old blood, Jamie Rogers on the guitar.
Okay.
We got young blood, Mason Rogers on.
Wait a minute, there's a father-son combination?
Father-son
Really?
combination. Look at that. Yeah, he's the father, he's the son.
I'm saying.
He's the talent. This is the talent in the family.
Who taught who?
He got all the talent.
Okay, both. What do you play?
I play bass.
So, okay.
He's the hell out of it.
Does he?
Yeah, wait till you see it. That's why I
Okay.
call him young blood, man. Young
Okay.
blood. And you know Richie, man.
This is
Richie
an old schooler, man.
Yeah,
You go way
old.
back.
We go
Yeah,
back
this
to
is
running Scott Stamper.
This is
Scott Stamper.
Scott.
Yeah.
Oh.
Scott Stamper was there in the beginning.
Scott Stamper.
It don't mean a thing. Just kiss my baby. Cause it just kissed my baby. Just like I knew it would. Cause it just kissed my baby. Don't you know that we can't go wrong? No, we ever try and do, yeah. Try and get along when I'm home. Come on, Jamie Rogers, old blood on the guitar.
Maybe it's kind of hard up here, man. Everybody treats me real. They always have treated me good up here. You treated me good. The people took care of us, especially over Katrina. You remember how that was? They gave us places to play, places to live.
And I had my dog, my clothes, and my equipment, which is all I really owned in the first place. So I really lucked out. A lot of people were not that lucky just watching it. I mean, we'd wake up, watch CNN, go to a gig because we had to work, and New Jersey took care of us. They took care of us. We were working every night to pay our bills. We would come home, watch CNN until we fall asleep. Wake up, watch CNN until we had to go play another gig. It's all we did over every day. And then Antonio Gambrell, who is a trumpet player from New Orleans that played with us, he ended up staying here. He didn't want to go back to New Orleans, and he plays in the band Fredonier. Have you caught up with them yet?
No, we haven't, no.
As the most talented player I've ever played with, I'll tell you right now, he's a trumpet player and singer and keyboard player, and he plays, man, catch up with Fredonier, man, you're gonna love him. I'm gonna tell you right before I went to New Orleans, I'm not even gonna bring up, because when I got to New Orleans and I met Walter Wolfman Washington, that's my mentor. I play. He taught me everything I know. He put me in his band, the Roadmasters, which is an honor in itself, and took me on a took me on the road and showed me everything. And then George Porter Jr. in New Orleans, the bass player for the Meters of course, Johnny Vodakovich, Galactic. I got to town and my eyes went like this, like, what? I can't. Everywhere you look, it's great music. And I didn't even tell people I played for a year because I was like, I got a lot to learn before I even say I play something.
Yeah, you weren't really playing, right?
No, I was sitting on the side of the stage. I got a job at Tipitina's, which is the greatest musical venue in the world. And I got a side stage sitting there watching all the bands come through, and I saw everybody. That was my education.
Feeling that I just can't hide, no. Just kiss my baby. Feels so good, just can't wait. Just kiss my baby. I'm gonna be late. Gonna hibernate, 'cause I just kissed my baby. Come on, y'all.
It's hard to bring up all the musicians that I'm playing with down there, and, and their schedules are hard, and everybody has their thing to do. So I've just been coming up by myself and just getting with these cats and doing our thing. We're missing one. Stash is late. Stash Stimson on percussion.
So what is New Jersey is your original home?
I was born in Chile, South America, in a copper mine in the north of Chile. But I moved to New Jersey when I was 3 years old.
A copper mine in Chile?
Yes, it's Chuquicamata is what it's called. And
Okay.
I'm not even kidding you. My dad was an engineer. He built the housing for the workers. My mom was she translated German and Spanish it was a German company that owned it.
Okay.
At the time, it was the second largest copper mine in the world. It's now a ghost town because they mined the hell out of it and then left it.
Okay.
But the hospital I was born in is still there. Like someone did a documentary not too long ago and they sent it to me. And it's still there. North of Chile, in the desert.
That's pretty deep, man.
I came from the desert. So
His first dog was named after him.
my first, Chucky. That was his name.
Remember that time that we was town, we was out just fooling around. Peter G was on the radio singing it out. So I told you, you were stuck at home sitting all alone, sending me pictures on my phone. My attention won't call, my cover blown. I called you, you came and met me on the neutral ground. My thoughts were clouded, but my logic was sound. Somehow you managed to turn it around. What you're doing to me ain't right, girl. My baby, my baby. What you doing to me ain't right, my baby, my baby. What you doing to me ain't right, no, my baby, my baby. What you doing to me ain't right, my baby, my baby. What you doing to me ain't right, no, no, no. Why this time around looks like this thing is going down. We and then driving back by Dollar Mule to 11th Ave. 1,300 miles exact. When I put a wing on that, I nearly had a heart attack. Is it too late to take it back? What they're doing to me ain't right, girl. My baby, what they're doing to me ain't right. My baby, what they're doing to me ain't right, no. My baby, what they're doing to me ain't right. My baby, what they're doing to me ain't right, no, no. Thank you very much. That's called Stone. That's
You gave me the history of you being born in a Chilean mine.
A
copper mine.
Yep, the second largest copper mine in the world at that time. Chuquicamata.
I looked that up.
Yeah.
There were two major mines, and that was one of them.
Yep, in the Atacama Desert. Yep.
That's pretty crazy, man.
I came out of the desert, baby, man. And I go back as much as I can. It's interesting, and it was a great experience. To my family, I have a huge family that, a loving family in Chile that always made me remember that America is not the only country in the world. And that's good to understand in this country, because sometimes we can get so caught up with everything that we have here, you forget, man, there's other views and there's other ways to live. Yeah. So that was always awesome to have that other view.
That other perspective.
Exactly, man. It's all about the big picture.
if you want me to stay, I'll be around today to be available for you to stay. See, I'm about to go, yeah, for me to stay here, you know, I got to be me. You'll never be in doubt, it's what it's all about. You can't just take me for granted and smile. I count the days and I'm gone, forget to reach me by phone, 'cause I promise, I'll be gone for a while. And when you see me again, I hope that you have been the kind of person that you really are now. Got to set it straight. How could I ever be late for my woman taking up my time? Why could I ever lie? Get out a pocket for fun when you know that you never number two. No. Number one, gonna be number one. Hey. If you want me to stay, if you want me to stay, David Ludman on the saxophone. I wish I could now. I wish I could now. I wish I could now. Get this message over to you now. A message in a bottle. Long shot. And when you see me again, I hope that you have been the kind of person that you really are now. You got to set it straight. How could I ever be late for my woman, taking up my time and my money and my love? Could I ever lie to get out of pocket for all? And you know that you never number two no more.
Switzerland. Raised in the States, starting 4, like Connecticut, around Yale, San Diego, 2 years, then Athens, Georgia, 2 years, and we were going back and forth with Switzerland, where my mom's from. And finally, at 11, I am brought to France. My dad's a mathematician. I lived there 18 years. I hadn't been back to the States for a whole 18 years when I decided, I quit all my bands in France. I made the big move to the States. Even though I had a good, financial situation being a musician, they have intermittent du spectacle. I don't know if you know how it works over there, but basically they have they have unemployment, they call it, for musicians. Because it's such a precarious job, they assume that the days you're not working, you should get like 40 bucks a day you're not working. So it's pretty nice. So you have to have a certain amount of declared gigs, official gigs, and you give 50% of your money to the government, but they subsidize all the rest.
Wow.
So in the end, it's actually the best subsidized status of any unemployment in France.
Oh, we work on the same street. I play with a reggae band.
Okay.
And he played every Thursday, and I played every Friday. So I just see them all the time. And I'm like, oh, that band kind of funky for some white boys, originals. And eventually, I got fired from the reggae band, and he finally picked me up.
Okay.
So that's how I got with them.
When there was always a piano in my house. My dad played guitar, most like just acoustic strumming guitar, Chilean folk songs. I remember my mom and dad always doing these folk songs in Spanish, and harmony and always sad, like minor songs, man. But they were beautiful, So that with the piano and my dad's guitar, I started playing for real when I was about 12 years old. I got my first guitar.
Grew up in Brick?
Pine Beach.
Pine
Which
Beach?
is right below Town River, and just suburb, man, like little beach town.
Yeah.
Like this is a town where all the rich people used to come from Philadelphia and summer. So it's all these little houses. But to me, that was it. It was everything, man. It was nice. Good place to raise a family. But it was boring.
So yeah, I met Christian at the Super Jam. He liked how I played, and then he hired me for this very first gig. And I was kind of scrambling. I was doing extras in movies in New Orleans, some kind of weird job for musicians you can find there. And so I was on this set, and I didn't know it was going to take so long, and I hadn't been called to do this stupid scene where I was supposed to eat a burger in a Hooters, believe it or not. And Christian's waiting for me. It was a duo gig, so it was him and I. So he really was hoping I would show up so we could hold it down. So I show up very late, like an hour late, to my very first gig with him. So needless to say, he was upset, and he didn't call me for like a whole month in the misery, like, because I had hopes of playing, I came here to play, not to be an extra in movies,
Yeah.
But sometimes you try one commitment. But so he ends up hiring me in the band, and I've been here with him for 7 years. I've been living in New Orleans for 8 years. So that's always what I've been trying to do too. Try to stick to something, not just do cover bands, and I'm happy with Soul Project. That's not what we do. We do more like the funk. We do some covers, but we'll have always, our main drive is going to be pushing our music and letting people be comfortable. And sometimes, people react even better to our originals than they do to our covers, which that's kind of satisfying,
Yeah.
Politics, bullshit, Give it up for Aaron Walker on the drums, better known as Aaron Walker. He broke one of my strings.
You know, I had the band Jonah, Jesus, and the Braid here in Asbury Park, and it was just, we couldn't go no further. We were banging our heads against the wall. So I had been to New Orleans, so the band I had up here broke up, and we went down there, and I was playing around with my solo project, and that morphed into Soul Project, and that was 2000. And I started from scratch, found other cats to play with that were doing what I was doing, and we just started doing it, and now here we are.
So what's the attraction of Soul Project?
It's honest music. We're not trying to be rock star. We're not trying to be, this, that, the other thing. We're trying to make the best music we can for the world and the universe and people. And that's what New Orleans music is to me. I want to give it to everybody else.
Clap your hands, everybody. Come on. Soul Project. Soul Project.
Well, I met Christian back in the day. It was like 1999, 2000 era. I was playing my saxophone on the street in Austin, Texas.
As a matter of fact, I left for New Orleans on New Year's Day, 2000. 1999, New Year's Eve, I worked the front door at the Saint. I went home, went to bed, woke up, and went to New Orleans.
So I'm playing on 6th Street. I used to play out like when people would be going to the bars and stuff. And one day, some scraggly dude comes up with a backpack and a guitar, and he's like, "Hey man, like, can I jam a little bit with you? Like, how do you play out here? I never did that before." I'm like, "Dude, just open up your case, whip it out, let's do this." So we started playing and got to know each other a little bit, and we had a lot of fun. And then we both went on our way. We both traveled here, traveled there. A year later, he's in Portland, Oregon, and he hears the sound of a saxophone on the street.
That is?
Around like 2 city blocks, I heard the saxophone. I was like, I know who that is, man. And I went around, and it was him.
Pioneer Square. And he's like, that must be David. And he came up behind me, he pulled out his guitar, and he started playing along with me. And I didn't even see him yet. I was like, what's going on? Christian, what? So that was like already a pretty cool reunion on the street.
Yeah.
Fast forward 10 years. I had already been to a jazz school in New York. I had lived in West Africa in the Peace Corps. And
You had dreads?
yeah, I had dreads. And I moved to New Orleans. And there's this band that's playing, and I'm like really digging their sound. I'm like, I want to play stuff like this. Let me go see if I can sit in. And I go up and I ask him, I'm like, hey man, like I just got here. Do you mind if I play with you? And he looked at me, he's like,
He knows who he is.
I know you. Austin, Texas. Portland, Oregon. Christian? What?
Yeah, man. I got the core band. You know, these guys. You know, David and Jeremy been with me now for about 7 years. You know, we some people come and go, you know, around and everything, and the band always changes. I feel like I got 40 or 50 members of the band from the get-go, and nobody is ever not in the band. They just not playing with us that night. You know, and like so I can put a band together with all the cats that have played with us over the years, and I still consider them part of the family. You know? you know, like I try and keep it so real. What we're doing is real. You know, it could be any kind of music, any kind of vibe, but we're so real about it because we care so much about it, and that attracts cats like this that are, you know, they're musicians and they want to play real music and they want to be invested in it, and this whole project gives them a chance to do that.
I think it's, you know, who was it? I had my first jazz combo teacher was like, you got to know all your theory, but don't let anybody know.
Oh, and you pulled it out, at the right moment.
You know,
Yeah.
it's like you should know
That's
exactly what they're doing.
Drummer, yeah.
Well, he was saying it to everyone.
Yeah,
He's
but
like, you know all your harmony, you know, all of your, you know, everything that you should as a jazz musician. But don't show up on the gig being like, this is a flat 13. Like, nobody cares.
Yeah.
Right. I don't care if you know every little last bit of music theory on the world if you can't keep time.
But we love doing music and making it right for people. And the other part of that is we feel like we're the ambassadors of New Orleans, and we need to take this music. People need to hear this music.
Thank you very, very much. Soul Project, ladies and gentlemen. This is our last gig here in New Jersey. We got to get on the road and head back to New Orleans tonight.
Who the hell do you think it is? What you trying to do? Who the hell do you think it is? What you trying to do? Who the hell do you think it is? What you trying to do? Who the hell do you think